What up, guys? Stoner B here. I decided I was gonna finally do my first video, why not give it a shot? And it's gonna be about, as you can already read in the title, about how I got caught in the 6th grade with weed. Now, most of you in the 6th grade were probably playing Minecraft or nowadays playing fucking Fortnite. Apex is way better, by the way. But, I decided, well, I should try weed. It wasn't just a random fucking thought that happened. It was more of I was kind of fucking nerdy. Nobody really liked me, that type of shit. And I was in a new school, so eh. Um, so there were some cool kids, quote unquote cool kids in the class that said that they smoked weed. They probably didn't. They were probably just fucking saying that so they could sound cooler, but that's what they would talk about. And so my parents smoked weed, and one day I was like, well, I'm gonna try to give them some weed. Maybe it'll make me cool, or maybe they'll like me. Now, I'm gonna let you know now, this is a fucking bad idea. Never do this. You're probably smarter than me on this thought, and that's why you guys haven't done this. But, yeah. Um, so I went into my parents' bedroom while they were at work one day, like after school and shit, and took a little plastic baggie that I found in the kitchen and fucking put some weed in it. Now, I thought to myself, I was like, well, I have to find a way to smoke this. And so at the time, I didn't really know what joint papers were. I'd seen my parents smoke joints, so I thought it was just fucking wax paper. And so I looked around my kitchen for some wax paper. And then I gave up on that and I went to the fridge and that paper that's like on the butter? I took a piece of that and just like ripped it off and fucking put it in my backpack with the weed. And then I couldn't find a lighter either, so I just got some matches and I fucking put it in my backpack as well. Now, if this had gone according to my plan, this would have been fucking horrible, okay? I would have been made fun of by these kids anyways, if they even really knew what a fucking joint paper was, which they probably didn't at the time, but they would have ended up being like, nigga, what the fuck? So, I end up going to school that morning, the next morning or whatever, and I have my shit with me, and I go and find the kids, the cool kids. They were on the other side of the corner because they were the kids that would fucking be little shits and not be where the teachers can see them. And so I go over there and I tell them and I show them what I got. They're all like, "Whoa, Nate's got weed. What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got some weed." And so well, all right, we'll call this kid James, all right? Now, James, he asked me, he's like, "Hey, can I get some weed?" And I told him, "All right, give me fucking $12." And he's like, "I don't have that type of money." I was like, "Then you can't buy my weed." Now, it's a good thing he didn't buy this weed because obviously I ended up getting caught later and I would have been expelled if he would have taken that weed from me because that would have been distribution. But whatever. I'm glad that didn't work out with him. And so I'm showing it to him for like a good 5 minutes before we're about to go in, and I realized to myself, I'm like, hey, I, this shit smells pretty strong. I should probably do something with it. So I go past the lines of fucking kids, and I go to the like other side of this area that we're sitting in, or fucking standing in, and there's this trash can there. You know those like metal trash cans with like the little metal bars and shit going all around it. And I get my little bag of weed and I stuff it inside of there, so inside those metal bars. That way nobody can see it, and I could get after school and go smoke it with these kids that think I'm suddenly all that shit because I got some weed now. And I go to my class. So I go into my class, I'm sitting there for a few minutes. All the kids are fucking staring at me, and a few of them are laughing and shit. You know, good shit. I'm pretty happy with myself. That's when I see the assistant principal come to the door. I shit myself almost. Like I'm so fucking scared. I see her stare directly at me and like does that finger movement like come here, and I was like, "Oh fuck. I am so fucked." Like at that moment I knew. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm a fucking goner." And so I go over to the door, and and I open it, and she goes to my teacher. She'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna take Nate," and my teacher's like, "Okay." And so we're walking down to her office. We'll call her Miss M. Now, Miss M, she tells me, she's like, "Do you know why I'm taking you?" And I'm like, "Maybe." And I was like, "Are you gonna have to call my parents?" And she kind of fucking laughs at me, and I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to call your parents." I'm like, "Ah, fuck." So, I don't even know why I asked that. That's a stupid fucking question. Obviously, she's gonna call my parents. I was scared shitless. So, we go up to her office, and we're having a little conversation, and she's like, "So, where'd you hide the weed?" And I tell her, and she's like, "All right, thanks for being honest. We already found it." And she fucking opens up her desk and she pulls it out, and she's like, "Wow, this stuff is really strong." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "So, why'd you hide it?" And I was like, "Because it smelt really bad." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And then I reached into my pocket, and there was this like good smelling fucking thing that I'm gonna be honest, it was like a little fucking one of those like linen bags and shit, and like you could see through it and stuff. And there was like cinnamon stick in it, and there was like some green shit that smelled really nice and fucking stuff. And it looked like more weed. And so I started squishing this shit because I'm really fucking stressed out. And I'm just fucking sitting there, squeezing it, and then she like looks over and she's like, "Is that even more weed?" And I'm like, "No, no, like here, smell it. It's not weed, trust me." And she smells it, and like she's like, "Oh, okay." And she fucking takes that too. And I'm like, "Oh my God, no, what the fuck is going on?" And she is like just being like really nice, but kind of fucking mean at the same time. Like, "Oh, you were such a good student. I can't believe that you would do something like this," and like all this other shit. And then she sends me to this back room where they make the kids for ISS go. And so I'm sitting back there, and that's when the fucking principal comes in. They have a little conversation, and then they call my fucking mom, and she fucking comes over and is really, really pissed off. I have never seen her so fucking irate. Yeah, she fucking slaps me upside the fucking head first thing she does. And she carries me by like my wrist and like is pulling me out of the building and is like, "I can't believe you'd fucking do this to me and your dad. We we do so much for you kids," and all this other shit. I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh my God. I did all this shit just so I could be cool in front of some people that I don't even fucking like and who don't even fucking like me." And so we're sitting out there for a while, and yeah, that's about all that happened with that. I get grounded for a really fucking long time for this, obviously, but that was to be expected. But something that I did end up finding out the next year when I went back there, because they ended up suspending me for the rest of the year and just freezing my grades, but I was allowed to go back the next year and finish out my seventh and eighth grade there. And so I found out during seventh grade, I was told that this kid, we'll call him Lewis. Lewis fucking snitched me out. This little motherfucker is the one who snitched me out. What happened is we'll call this other kid fucking Denisio. Denisio tells fucking Lewis, "Hey, I bet you won't snitch Nate out." And so this nigga fucking does it. He goes into the office and snitches me out. And alright, I go to high school and I meet this motherfucker, alright? And he's a rich fucking little Mexican kid and shit. I fucking hated him, alright? But he was pretty chill after that. You know, I didn't have any other beef with him, so, you know, that's about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I know this isn't really good quality, but, you know, I had to tell my story, like, who else gets like in trouble in the sixth grade for weed?